Good morning. Today we're going to manually prone a patient. So the supplies that you'll need 3 pillows, you'll need 3 top sheets, you'll need a chuck, which will go underneath the head of the patient to catch any fluids or secretions that'll be coming out. You'll also need 7 to 9 personnel. So basically you'll have 3 personnel on each side of the bed. If there's any lines that are waist down, they will go in between of the patient's legs. If there's any drains waist up, they will go up towards the head of the patient. So right now what we're going to do is he has 2 chest tubes. We're going to place the chest tube lines in between of the patient's legs and hang the chest tubes on the foot of the bed. Any lines from the waist up, they're going to come up to the head of the bed. Okay, so we'll get our first flat sheet and we'll place that underneath the patient. Okay. On the count of 3, we'll roll the patient to the right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's roll the patient back. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll roll the patient to the left. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's roll them back. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll put the chuck underneath the bottom flat sheet, right here. Underneath the patient's shoulders and the head on top of the flat sheet, all right? Okay. All right, now we'll get the second flat sheet and we'll put that on top of the patient. Making sure that his head and his neck is exposed. Now we will get our 3 pillows and we will put 1 pillow on the chest area, another pillow on the pelvic area, and another pillow the knee lower extremity area. Now we will get our 3rd flat sheet and put that on top of the pillows. In regards to the airway, you want to make sure that you have your ET tube holder off and your bite block, and it is secured with twill tie tape. Now we will securely tighten all the sheets and roll them towards the patient in a burrito wrap. Okay. Got it. Okay. RT will be at the head of the bed and will be securing the airway and will also give the commands to moving the patient. So on the count of 3, we will first move the patient to the right of the bed. 1, 2, and 3. Your personnel on the right side of the bed will bear the weight of the patient when we put them in the lateral position. So now we're going to put the patient in the lateral position on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Also make sure that your personnel is ready for the next move and all your lines and your drains and tubes are still in a straight position. Is everybody okay? All right. On the count of 3, we will slowly prone the patient. 1, 2, 3. The patient will always go towards the vent and his head will go towards the vent. Now we will center our patient in the middle of the bed on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we'll begin to unwrap our patient, taking the top sheet off. And now we will place the patient's arms in the swimming position. The one closest to the vent will be extended towards the head. And his other hand, you will put a pillowcase in it or a towel in the palm. And this is how you manually prone your patient. So now we're going to put our patient back in the supine position. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this arm and place it beside the patient. You'll take the towel out. You'll put your top sheet on the patient. And once that's on the patient, you'll begin to securely wrap the patient in your sheets. Okay, now we're going to move the patient to the left side of the bed. So is everybody ready? Okay, on the count of 3, let's move the patient to the left side of the bed. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is everybody okay? All right, on the count of 3, we're going to place the patient in a lateral position. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is everybody okay? All right. On the count of 3, we're going to slowly put the patient into supine. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we'll center the patient in the middle of the bed on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we'll take off the flat sheet and the pillows. And now we have placed the patient in supine from prone.
Hello, my name is Senior Airman Derek Pitchford, and I'm going to be talking to you today about securing this ET2 with twill tape for your proning procedure. Okay, items needed would be the actual twill tape. You can get this from the RT department. You always want more than what you'll actually need because you can always cut, you can't add. Of course, your standard PPE based off the patient's precautions and a 4x4 gauze. So we're going to start off with, you always want to have 2 RTs to help secure the tube while you're actually applying the twill tape. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take off the anchor fast bite block, with also the bite block. Okay, have your twill tape in the center of your twill tape that's going to go behind the patient's neck. You want your 4x4 gauze. Right now I'm using a split gauze because I don't have any 4x4s. This is just to help pad the patient's neck. And you want to make sure that you have your correct depth and annotating it properly on your documentation. Okay. So you want to start off with an X. You want to make sure that you're pretty deep in the patient's mouth when you first begin, so the tube won't travel. Okay. Going under. Hold it. You're just going to pretty much do this X pattern all the way up the ET tube. You want to make sure that it is tight and that you don't see any portion of the ET tube. Now as you cross, it will hold each other as long as you hold one end of the tape. if you ever have any any of the ET tube exposed, you can always go back over and come back down and wrap it again. Okay, now that we're up a decent amount of the ET tube, we're going to do a quick release knot. Make it, tighten it down really well. Then you can cut off your access. Then be sure to date and document the ET tube depth and the day that you did it, and initial your name.